Live from New York, Kyoto, it's Corbin in Japan. Special segment called #Walk with Corbin. Yeah, I'm in Kyoto, Japan right now. For those of you tuning in early, I put the expected time, or expected start time, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it is a little bit earlier than that, and so figured why not give you early joiners a little bit what do you call it? A little bit early access. I'm on my way to where I want to do my starting point, and yeah, hello again, my brother. Well, hello again to you. Welcome to the Facebook page of www.corbininjapan.com, all one word. So, to Veton, I'm not sure, but to you, sir, I believe you're a sir, you may recognize this bicycle shop from it before. This is actually a really good beginning point, and wow, see, that's something you wouldn't see in New York City. Someone drop a handkerchief and a taxi actually stops. Huh. Look at that. But anyway, this is a very good starting point because if you were on the Twitch, which Senor Love Blanc, or I don't know what country you're from, but wherever you are from, you will remember this from before. This is Rokakudo Temple, and this temple is really cool. It is one of my favorite temples in Japan, and I think it is. Ooh, you can hear them chiming because it is almost noon here in Japan. And holy crap, I did not notice that before. That is cool. That gold topper thing. But yeah, you can see tall building, temple. This is Kyoto, my friends. Kyoto is one of probably my favorite place in the entire world, mainly because it is such a good harmony, which is very Japanese-ish, between the traditional hundreds and holy crap, this is where the bell is. This is one of the nice things about being live. You get to see things that I did not have planned. How did they get that to work? Was there a person there? Is that automated? It does look like there is an automated arm there. Huh. Well, there you have it. Interesting. See? Like I said, harmony between traditional thingamajigs and technology. Holy crap! That is louder than I expected. Sorry for the cough, but that's what you get for watching live. Starbucks. There's a Starbucks in almost every corner of Japan, just the same that it is just about anywhere else that you go in the world. But yeah, actually, I mean, the weather is not so bad. I mean, it's much better than it is in New York, for example. And I don't know if you can see it in here, or I'm sure you can hear it, but there is an ambulance on its way here. And what I'm actually trying to zoom in on is that there's something you may or may not be expecting is a Gold's Gym. Super overpriced for what you get, no matter where you go. Nice. So we are going to walk across here and make our way over to Sanjo Dori. That is 3 Street, however you want to call it. You don't have Starbucks? Well, then you actually probably have good coffee then, would be my, probably be my guess. But yeah, making our way over to 3rd Street, Sanjo Dori. Dori means street. Sanjo is 3 block, 3rd block. Yes. Interesting fact about Kyoto. Kyoto was designed on a block system, much like New York City. So it is super easy to get around Kyoto. And this is what I'm talking about right here, right? Probably hundreds of year old, or maybe at least 100, well, maybe decades old at least, brick building next to super modern buildings. And I think this is actually a hotel called Hotel Monterey Kyoto. Excuse me, I apologize. I'm going to have to take a big cough, and hopefully that will solve the coughing problem for the rest of this feed. Alright, don't know if that did it or not. Anyway, so, like I said, Starbucks in every corner. There's a Starbucks here, there's a Starbucks there, there's another Starbucks at the big crossing up there. A lot of Starbuckses. Anyway, also a lot of convenience stores. Right before you saw was a convenience store called Family Mart. This is another convenience store called Mini Stop. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the crossing of Sanjo Dori and Karasuma Dori. And that is our official starting point at a little bit after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like I promised. All right. And people running to not being able to make the crosswalk. But it's not really a big deal. Next crossing time is probably not that long. But yes, feel free to ask questions, make comments. I am able to see a chat log on my screen, so if you have any questions, I will try to answer them in a timely fashion. If not, then I will be doing a long, drab monologue, blah, blah, blah. What made you move to Japan? Very good question. I have always had an interest in Japan since I was very little. When I was growing up in New York in the late 80s, early 90s, that'll give you an idea about how old I am. The Karate Kid was a very popular movie. Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. Martial arts was huge. And one of my first introductions to Japan was actually the cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon, back when they were actually decent, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power. And I can vividly remember, actually, when I was in kindergarten, I was watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they had ninjas and samurai, and I somehow lost my mic, so if you hear me fiddling around, I am trying to find it and put it back into my ear. There. Okay. So, yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the beginning. And then in junior high school, I studied about world history, and my 5th grade history class teacher, shout out to Mrs. Lenhart, unfortunately, rest in peace, but she was a wonderful woman. She actually hosted a Japanese exchange student, high school Japanese exchange student, and because she was a history teacher, she made the Japanese student give a presentation in her class. And from there, I was pretty much hooked. In high school, I discovered Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and whatnot. My cousin, I'm not going to say her name, but she also lives in Japan, in Tokyo, and married to a Japanese man. I'll tell you a little bit about my family. We all love East Asia. My cousin, male cousin, he lives in South Korea. And yes, aren't Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan from China? That is correct. But when I was in kindergarten, I did not know that. All I knew was Karate Kid. Woo! Although in the United States, it is pronounced karate, which is incorrect, as is karaoke. If you look at the spelling, it actually makes no sense. But yes, Hong Kong, technically China, but don't tell Hong Kongers that. I have a lot of friends that are from Hong Kong, and they would slap you silly if you said that they were Chinese. So, quick tip. Don't call people from Hong Kong Chinese. Don't call people from Taiwan Chinese. They have a very rocky relationship with mainland China and do not like it. So, this is Sanjo, and we're walking along, talking, hopefully not disturbing people too much. And yeah, you can see wood-sided buildings, more modern type of buildings. Over here, we have a delivery person from Kuroneko, Black Cat Delivery Company. They're pretty awesome, actually. All right. Ooh, here you have Kyo Matcha White, Mix, and Bitter. Matcha means green tea, specifically from Uji in Kyoto. And this is Inoda's coffee. Inoda coffee is a really, really old brand of coffee. And so when do I eat breakfast? My work time, on weekdays, depending on the day, usually starts from 2:30, 3 o'clock, and lasts until 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I usually have breakfast whenever I decide to wake up. And here's a YMCA. YMCA. They do exist all over the world, apparently. Urban Research, don't let them fool you. It is a overpriced clothing shop, even though it says 10% off. 10% off of hundreds of dollars is not very much. And over here, Lacquer and Craft. I don't know if you can read that. I will try and get a better Lacquer and Craft Gallery. That is pretty cool. And here, looks like Kimono and Yukata Shop, which looks very nice, actually. Hagire. I'm not sure what that means. While my Japanese is pretty good, my vocabulary is still quite limited. So there are words that I do not know. But that is neither here nor there. Looking here, we have Mainichi Shimbun, one of the big newspaper companies in Japan, which they also have English news, or English version of their website, which you can check out if you so desire. But yes, please ask more questions. I do not like talking to myself. Here we have Tintin Shop. And yes, this is actually a really cool building called Sakar. It has some bars and restaurants and actually a museum on the first floor, which is pretty cool. It says, "Konnichiwa, genki desu ka?" from Mr. Robert Trowbridge. Trowbridge. And yes, I am very good, thank you. Genki desu yo. And Robert also I gave a tour of Kyoto when he came. And he should actually leave a comment, or not a comment, but a review, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, about my services. Because I did him some pretty good solids by showing him where to buy really good and cheap whiskey. Japan has really good whiskey, in case you didn't know. And yeah, Suntory whiskey is fan-freaking-tastic. It is one of my favorites. So this, how much I like IRL streamers in Japan. It's 4:15 a.m. Jesus! Where are you from, sir? 4:15 in the morning. That would be Europe, maybe? Russia? I don't know. Middle East? Maybe? I don't know. But either way. Whew. Thank you for watching, though. It is very much appreciated. And we are getting into a very interesting part of Kyoto. Here's a more recent coffee chain shop company called Tully's Coffee. I believe from England. I may or may not be correct. I don't know. But yes. Oh, this. I wanted to show this, and I will tag them, and hopefully they will make a mention of me. This building is really, really cool because they have a non-verbal performance art show called Gear. And this show, if you have the time, is very, very, very well worth it. I would highly, highly recommend Gear. It is very, very cool. It is a kind of variety vaudeville type show, and they do juggling and gymnastics and dancing and mime and magic, and it is very, very cool. Again, I will put a link to their Facebook page in the comments sometime later. Actually, I can probably do that now. I will let you look at their poster thingamajig while I do that. Let's see if I can't tag them, maybe. Where's my @ mark? Well, crap. All right. Anyway, it's called Gear, and when I have the time, I will actually do a link to that at some point. This is another overpriced clothing shop. Japan is all about the high fashion, even though a lot of them really can't afford it, but that's just a secret. Here is a very, very, what do you call it? Landmark-y type thing. Sorry, I just lost my microphone again. If you have the time, please go to my website, and there are some links either to Twitch or to, if you go to the About page, there is a link to donations. Any and all donations made to CorbinInJapan.com or any of my affiliated social media things will go straight to buying me better equipment, which I can take better pictures and things. And here is a huge crab. And it's actually a very, very famous crab restaurant that you can go to in Kyoto. It is very, very nice. I also recommend it. Japan is, let's see, Viton just asked a very good question. How expensive is Japan? People on the internet and everywhere else like to say that Japan is super, super expensive. That is not true. Tokyo is super, super expensive. The rest of Japan is regular priced or cheap, depending on where you live. This is actually one of my favorite places. It's called Shakey's Pizza. Shakey's Pizza has a lunch buffet of all you can eat for 750 yen. That is about $7 US. How great is that? All you can eat pizza. It's crap pizza, but it's pizza-like, which is still good enough for me. Anyway, this is a covered arcade, which I should actually put my umbrella down for, because that is a little bit rude. This covered arcade is on Sanjo Street, which means that it is actually, even though it is a street, it is closed off to traffic. So you do not have to worry about being run over by a car, which is kind of nice. And actually, this is another nice, really nice thing. In Japan, there is a lot of free Wi-Fi. Robert Trowbridge asked, is that the same place is in Osaka, the one with the crab? No, they are different. Oh, and here's a really nice guitar shop. I have been here. It's called Big Boss, and they are indeed boss-ish. Yeah, green tea, matcha, good stuff. All right. The one with the crab. No, it is a different company, I believe. And yeah, but still really good, no matter what you do. Now, in this area, I am not going to reveal the name of it. If you want that information, you can maybe use one of my services. But in this area is, in my opinion, Corbin in Japan's opinion, the best sushi, conveyor belt sushi restaurant in Kyoto, maybe in Japan. And it is really delicious. And while I'm just see it, another really famous thing about Japan is different flavors of Kit Kat. There are a lot. So, and yeah, Kit Kat is super big in Japan, and they have seasonal flavors. They have a lot of different stuff. Another thing I really like about Japan, particularly Kyoto, is the pictures, or maps rather. Really good. Which is your favorite place in Japan? Kyoto. It is the place that I call home. It is the place that I love more or less than any other place in Japan. Kyoto is just fantastic. While I am around here, I will just pan a bit to the left and right while I wait for the lights to turn, or crosswalk to turn rather. This is called Kawaramachi Street. So this intersection right here is called Sanjo Kawaramachi. And Kawaramachi and Shijo Street are the biggest covered shopping areas. You can see this is actually covered. So this is the covered shopping areas in Japan, or not in Japan, but in Kyoto rather. Sorry. And actually just a little bit, a little bit east of here is the kind of drinking bar street. It's not that difficult to find out what the name of that is, but if you so desire, I will reveal it later. And yes, anyway, you may be wondering where my destination is. My destination is Sanjo Keihan Station, which is just across the river here. Yeah, because I am actually on my way home. And oh, this is kind of cool too. Walk, don't ride your bicycle. It's nice. Those taxi cars look so old. That is because they are so old. In Japan, taxis are not so much licensed. Actually, a lot of taxi drivers own their own cars and own their own things. I'm going to show you real quick a very popular and actually really good Hamburg, as opposed to hamburger, because hamburger is hamburger patty with bread. Hamburg is a hamburger patty like so. And this is called Bikkuri Donki, the Hamburg restaurant. And it is really, really good. I highly recommend this place as well. It is relatively cheap. You were asking about how expensive things are here. Here, you can see this plate of food is about 1,000 yen-ish, which is less than $10 US American. And if you want American hamburger shop, there is a Burger King right here as well. So they got your hamburger needs taken care of either way. Here's a drugstore. Drugstores in Japan are awesome. They have a lot of different stuff. And I don't know if you can actually see up ahead, but that is Sanjo Station, which is where I'm going. Yes, the question was just asked, do you see many foreigners in your city? In Kyoto, Kyoto is one of the most popular tourist spots in Japan, period. Not only among foreigners, but also among Japanese. So yeah, there are tons of tourists. Recently there has been a huge uptick in tourism because the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games is coming soon. And yeah, oh, this is a really good place too. Talking about millennials, you can get avocado here, although not avocado toast, I don't believe. I've never really gone there. It's also kind of overpriced for what it is, so it's kind of meh. This over here used to be the site of a really interesting themed restaurant. In Japan, there used to be themed restaurants used to be a huge thing. So here there was a restaurant called the Lockup, which was a prison-themed restaurant. So, like, the servers were dressed in black and white, like prison-type uniforms and things like that. It was pretty funny. You can also see right over here, there is, in Japan, this is what is considered Japanese fast food. They are bowls of rice with various toppings on front. And this particular shop is called Matsuya. It's very, very nice. It's very, very good. But right next door to it is a temple. Actually, I've actually never been inside that temple. So when I am going to cross, I'm going to go in. You asked what my favorite food. Someone asked what my favorite food is. My favorite food is called, Japanese food is called okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki is a type of pancake-y type thing, but it's more like pizza is how I would describe it, because you can have tons of different toppings. This is called Zuisenji Temple. I've never been here before. I'm not sure if they allow cameras, but I will give you a sneak peek. And yeah, like I said, this is smack dab in downtown Kyoto. So, like, the harmony of tradition and technology is one of the main reasons that I love Kyoto so very much. You can see on the other side of the road is a restaurant called Ganko. It is actually Chinese food, or maybe Japanese food. Japanese food, I think, actually. Oh, this is what I was saying before, the Black Cat delivery service. They're actually really good. And right over on your left, I will pan over in just a second, is another Starbucks. So that brings a total of Starbucks that I have seen in this immediate, 15, 20-minute walk radius is up to 4. This is another convenience store. On the other side of this river is Sanjo Station. All right, so it says, the question just came up, do you prefer to live in the countryside or in the city? I prefer somewhere in the middle, to be honest with you, because I like the convenience of the city, but I don't like tourists. I do not like crowded areas, so I like to be in the suburbs. Here you can see an extremely famous river called Kamogawa River, and in the summertime you can see there is a way to come down here. This is kind of party central in the summertime. At the nighttime, people will drink, they will buy alcohol from this Lawson here, which makes a ton of money every night in the summer because they sell alcohol, and people will just come down here and party until dawn or the first train, or sometimes sleep. I have actually slept on this grass on the other side, and yeah, it's actually really nice. But yes, so this feed is going to be coming to an end pretty soon, so any last minute questions or comments you have, type them in now. I will be ending this video in probably, well, once I start going down these stairs. So you have your last chances now. Black Cat is awesome. Use them for shipping my luggage from Kyoto to our Airbnb in Osaka a few days later. Probably 1 day total, usually, I would think, because actual shipping stuff in Japan is super quick. Like, if I order from Amazon here, there is zero reason for me to get expedited shipping, because it will usually arrive in 2 to 3 days, period. Next question was, when was the sakura season, or when is the sakura season? Sakura cherry blossoms are in late April, early May-ish. It depends on weather conditions. Alright, so without much more ado, I am going to finish this feed, and here is a view of the river one more time, and I'll finish right here, so with a view of Sanjo Station. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and consider donating or maybe purchasing my services. So thank you very much. Have a good day, night, whatever time it is where you are, and take care.